Hello everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Video Dvar Torah with Rabbi Chaitovsky here at BMH-BJ. I just received in the mail the Chametz search kit, and that lets us all know that Pesach is just around the corner. And the fact is, there's a lot going on to prepare for Pesach, and it's not just using this that helps us prepare. It's not just the cleaning and the destroying of chametz and the shopping that helps us prepare, but we have to prepare up here as well. And our calendar really helps us do that. In fact, there are 4 special Shabbatot on the calendar, starting in the month of Adar, that help us prepare for Pesach. The first of these is Shabbat known as Shabbat Shkalim. And Shabbat Shkalim, as the name implies, involves shekels, involves a contribution of money. And it was a half shekel that everyone had to contribute for the upkeep or for the building of the first Mishkan. And it's interesting that over time, that idea of contributing towards that first Mishkan became the basis of a tax that did not only apply to the Jews living in what became Israel, but also applied to the Jews living in the diaspora, all for the upkeep of the glorious temple that was built first by Solomon and then rebuilt later in the days of the Second Temple. So this contribution helped the Jewish community come together as a community. Then we have another Shabbat on the calendar that we had a few weeks ago, right before Purim, and we know it as Shabbat Zachor, the Shabbat of remembrance. And we all know what this is. This is the grogger that we use to drown out the name of Haman, who was the classic Amalekite, the enemy of the Jewish people. And Shabbat Zachor has us remember because we share history. And it's important for us to know our history, not because we're living in the past, but because we're inspired and energized by the past, and because we have to build on the past in order to give our present meaning and in order to build a secure and meaningful future. Then we have this week's Shabbat. This week's Shabbat is Shabbat Parah, the Shabbat of the cow. And I'm referring, of course, to the red heifer, the red cow. And the red cow was like a detergent to cleanse Jews who had become impure through contact with the dead or other impurities, to allow them to become pure again, specifically to participate in the ritual life of the community, most notable among them, the Passover Seder. If you were not pure, you could not participate in the Seder. So this is a Shabbat of ox cleaning, or OxyClean. And it's a very important Shabbat. And then next week, we're going to have Shabbat HaChodesh, as we usher in the new month of Nisan. Why these 4 Shabbatot? You look in the Mishnah that tells us that we have these 4 Shabbatot. There's no reason given for why these 4. But I'm going to propose a reason, and I hope that you will like what I say. And if you do or don't, you'll let me know in your comments. The fact is, these 4 Shabbatot correspond to 4 ideas or 4 concepts that need to be shored up in order to get us ready for Pesach. Classically speaking, there are no Jewish holidays between Sukkot and Pesach, biblically speaking. The only ones there are Chanukah, which is always considered a minor holiday, and Purim, which is a boisterous, fun holiday, but again, relatively minor in the scheme of things. So we move from Sukkot, and we go through the winter where things are dark and a little dreary, and we may lose touch with the community during the winter months. So in order to prepare for Pesach, which is the classic holiday of family and community, we need to prepare. We need to get ready. Our minds need to get ready. And that's what these 4 holidays are about. First, the 4 Shabbatot are about, The first one, Shkalim, is about contributing to come out of our lethargy and to reach into our pockets and stand up with the community. Even at the Passover Seder, we chide the wicked or insolent child for being one who is separated from the community. Well, by contributing along with the community to a communal project, we stand up with the community. And then we have a holiday that celebrates our shared history. Remembering our history is very important. That's what all the holidays are about. They all touch on some aspect of our history in order to inspire us for the future. And then we have Shabbat of Parah, which deals with an arcane law of Jewish ritual of purity and impurity. And many of us feel that these rules are not really relevant today, but they're really a metaphor for all of the rules, regulations, mitzvot that are part of Jewish tradition. Passover is a highly legislated, a mitzvah-intensive holiday. And in order to get ready for that, we need a little reminder of the role that plays, because it's been so dark and dreary the past couple of months that we really need to get back into the light, so to speak, and we need to clean up our act, and that's what Shabbat Parah is about. And then next week, we have Shabbat HaChodesh, which deals with sanctifying time. The very first mitzvah given to our people was to make a calendar and to make this coming month of Nisan the first month of the year. So many of us think that the new year is in January, or the new year is in Tishrei when Rosh Hashanah comes, but actually the new year of our birth as a nation, our July 4th, is actually the month of Nisan. 4 Shabbatot, 4 ideas: individual responsibility for the community, national history as a spur for the future, religious ritual, and sanctifying time and marking the holidays in their appropriate seasons. These are 4 building blocks that help us get ready for Pesach. I hope this makes life just a little bit easier for you. It'll certainly make you a little bit more interesting at your next cocktail party. Share this information with all who care to listen, and we'll see you in Shul. Have a great Shabbat.